Hey, welcome to the Huntsville Hustle podcast. We're going to highlight some of the small business owners that are the backbone of the Rocket City here. And today we have a Huntsville legend, Mr. Don Howard. If you've seen a caricature around town, it's probably his work. Good chance it is Mr. Don that did that. So, Mr. Don, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for inviting me. I've been excited ever since we got your email saying that you wanted to do this.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think, like I said, people have probably seen your work and maybe not knowing much about you. So, for those who don't know, how would you describe what you do as an artist here in Huntsville?
Well, thanks for that opportunity because I'm not asked that always. And I have worked on a canned answer for a long time professionally. And what I do and what I have decided was to go the route of caricature. Mind you, that as an artist with God blessed talent, that there's any direction that I could have went, and I think that I would have been successful. But I decided to be a caricature artist because of the interaction with other people and just the glee of what I could do bestowed onto them. And that means more to me than even the money, although it has been very financially successful for me.
Hey, that's the old win-win right there. And
Yeah, yes, it is.
I had to apologize when he came over having to stare at my mug. He recently did one for me. Man, I'm so excited about it. In fact, I'm going to share it with you guys right now. So you did one I was looking to do some supplements for my business, and
Yeah.
you were able to come through for that. So let's figure out my technology again. I think I got it this time, but here he is. There's that guy. Let's share that. So yeah, so if you look at that ball, I've even got the green shirt on because I knew you were going to be on here today.
Wow.
So look at that. I mean, I'm better looking on the caricature, so I appreciate that. He gave me
No,
some bicep.
hey, what you are viewing to your audience is what I call my business caricature. It's definitely a caricature and stuff, and it is meant to look more like the person than the person. But what sets this apart is that it gives a kind of I mean, the person doesn't look ridiculed; they looked embodied, and that's what I was after.
That
Yeah.
was excellent. So apologize for you having to stare at my face for a long time to get that done, but I was so excited to get it. I did have that glee.
Like I say, I know you anywhere now.
That's it. Yeah. Well, I had that glee that you talked about. That was so excited when I got to open that up. Oh, man, it's perfect. Exactly what I was looking for. So thank you
That's
for that.
exactly what I try to do.
Yeah. That was it. Yeah. That's a good way to make a living, making people happy.
If I can mention one thing, one of the things that my customers do is they'll send in a photograph and they want to give it as a gift to a friend of theirs. Well, immediately, I know that they're the customer and eventually they're going to be the payee. But I am thrust into the area of saying, I want to do something that the recipient is going to like. And so therein lies the conundrum of doing a caricature. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. So I want to kind of take it back. What first inspired you to start creating art? Was there a specific moment you kind of knew this was your calling?
Well, yeah, as a matter of fact, and you're the first one to ever ask me this question. I grew up with a brilliant brother. My older brother, was a year and 9 days older than me, he has since passed, but he was a year and 9 days older than me. And so we grew up almost as twins. But my brother was brilliant in everything he did. He was a great athlete. He was a great scholar, okay, and all of this. And so, as the second oldest, I was always, I don't know, just figured a feeling less of. But there was one day that we kind of had a in-family drawing contest. It wasn't formal, but it was me and him drawing something that a friend of my mother's had showed us who could draw. And when I looked at both of our offerings and saw that mine was just so superior to his, that was the first time in my life that I realized that I could do something better than my brother.
Yeah. Take that. That was a great feeling. I got brothers.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
know
yeah.
that feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then from then, I just said, well, I can really do this. Not only was I superior to my brother, But my other classmates added, and so I said, this is what I'm going to do. And from an early age, I'm talking about 6 or 7, maybe 8, I knew that that's what I wanted to do in life as an artist. And I started reading voraciously about famous artists. And therein lies what gave me the motivation.
That's great. It all started with one up in your brother. What a great way to get started, right?
Yeah, yeah, it is, man.
That's it. So who were
I
your?
think about that daily almost. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's good. It keeps your brother's memory alive too. I get it.
Yeah, yeah, it does
Yeah,
because he was a brilliant man.
I like it. Yeah. Who were some of the inspirational artists for you growing up?
Well, of course, the Renaissance greats. I was in particularly in love with Leonardo da Vinci because I could do several different things, and so I liked the fact that he had a science in, a math in, a say a from the point that he knew the science and the art and the synergy that came between them. And that's where it is. I use math more daily than the average person. And so, the and as far as contemporary artists, I was a big fan of Mad Magazine
Yeah, one of my
when I
favorites.
was growing up and the artists therein. And especially, I think of Mark Drucker. I think of Jack Davis. These guys, Angelo Torres, these guys kind of made me say, well, this is what I want to do. As a quick note, I applied and was offered a job by Mad Magazine after I graduated from college. But I had gotten a better offer and I went there.
Man, I hadn't thought about Mad Magazine in a long time. I used to love those growing up.
Oh,
Alfred E. Newman.
yeah, yeah, man. It was, hey, look, they were the top of the line as far as doing satire, on things that we all understood. So it was a wonderful thing for me at that time.
Yeah, but kind of going back, you are a bit of a Renaissance man yourself. Tell me a little about your athletic career.
Well, I came from a large family and we could not afford to send me to a college. And so I think my sophomore career, I ran track. My junior and senior year, and these were both at a different school, I started playing football because all my partners wanted to play football. I did have some natural athletic ability. So my junior year, I started playing, and then my senior year, I started for a high school and was offered scholarship offers by several different colleges. I decided to go to Hampton University in Virginia because they had a great art department.
Hey, I always tell
Yeah,
my son he played sports. I say, hey, use sports as a vehicle to get where you want to get in life.
exactly. I mean, to when I look at the lives of professional athletes now, I thank Jesus that I am not that because the toil on your body, the toil on your family, and all of this, was just something that most people don't think of, but is a very real part of the whole athletic situation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm beat up enough, and I wasn't a professional athlete. I only
Yeah,
played for a little while, so I can't imagine.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I can't imagine. There's one story I really recall when I was at Hampton. It would be about 3:30. All the last classes were done. And then I had to get myself together to walk down to the athletic complex. And as I was walking down, you would see all the guys with their honeys lying on the lawn, playing music and stuff. And I realized that there were 3 hours of grueling physical exercise waiting for me. And I just think that going to college on an athletic scholarship, although good if you're going to a big school and you're a star and all of that, it can be a grueling situation if you are, say, not the big star, but a person who plays on your team who adds to the team. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, my son's doing that right now. He's a freshman, so he's a low man on the totem
Yeah,
pole right
yeah,
now.
yeah,
So playing in
exactly.
college, and
Yeah.
it's a grind for sure. Yeah, you got to love it.
Yeah, where's he at?
He's at the Air Force Academy.
Wow.
He's
Well,
playing
see,
basketball. He's a basketball guy.
if I had gotten a, say, scholarship to maybe West Point, you see, that's where going to play sports is going to benefit that career directly after you got out of school, you know.
Absolutely, yeah, that's it. So, kind of looking back, also, was there a moment you realized, hey, I can actually make a living with art? Was there a moment you realized that? Was that right out of coming out of college?
You know what? No, I always felt that. I said, yeah, I had heard all my life about the starving artist, but I had read about successful ones. So I knew that there was an art industry as compared to just sitting around waiting for someone to call and say that they need a particular piece of work. So you're not limited and stuff. Today, you are in a world to where a college students could come out with an art degree and talent and make $35 an hour, you know. So it's an amazing situation now, and it's totally different.
That's it. Yeah, I like your attitude that hey, if someone else can do, it, why not me?
Yeah, exactly. Come on. I mean, I was given just such an amount of talent. And I say that because being a competent professional is not only talent, but work ethic.
For sure.
All right, and good, and people telling you the right way to go. But I've always felt that I had enough. I had more than enough to make it.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, when you combine that talent with sick work ethic, you put those two together,
Exactly.
and you got something right there. See, I think that's something people don't realize that about being an artist. They kind of get the like you said, kind of that starving artist, kind of the head of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
clouds
yeah.
type of person. But
No,
it's a work ethic for sure. So
there are more art jobs now than there have ever been in the history of the world. Okay. It's just all about that. My personal slogan is that if I'm going to waste time, I'm going to work it to death.
there you go. That's a good slogan right there. So what you've mentioned a couple things. I mean, math was not something I was expecting you to use in your process. What's some other things people don't realize about being a working artist?
Well, first of all, you and yourself have two of the three elements, okay? Meaning that you have the labor, okay? And you have the institution to where you can ship and handle and deliver, okay? The difference is how do you go out and get that customer? And I'm sure you're dealing with the same thing. Every business does, okay? So the internet comes along. Here's the first time that I could have a platform in which I can be in Huntsville, working in a studio in my backyard, to where I can service and advertise to a customer who is in Hong Kong or who is in Berlin or who is in London. So things just came to the point to where I had all three of the things that I needed. And then it's a matter of how you want to be presented, on what level do you want to sell your goods, and what is your ability to take money. And after you do that, if you have a viable product, and that's how I look at my artwork as my product, then you can be successful.
You got the technique down, right? You got the technique, you got all that stuff, and then you got to figure out the rest, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Me,
yeah.
I come from the fitness world, not the business world, so I've had to figure that part out. So
Well,
same.
you're in the fitness world, but there is a cash element in it. And so you would do this and I would do my artwork for free. because I love it that much. And I love how it gives the feeling to the person who receives it. But in order to do that, we have to have our cash flow element in the whole situation. So you and I are dealing with the same thing. You're dealing with something that you know people need, but they don't look at it as a priority. Okay. I deal with exactly the same thing. I know they need the entertainment that what I do gives them. But if there is another bill that I have to go against, I don't care what it is. That bill is going to get the priority
Yeah,
as compared to what I do. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's a great way of looking. I hadn't really thought about that. We do kind of parallel each other on that. So
Oh, yeah. And most businesses do, especially those that are on the entertainment level. Now, both of us are in the entertainment business in a way, so me visually, me visually, you also, because believe me, the little girl who does the vinyl, she expresses on how much she enjoys what she does with you.
that's it. I'm on the whole thing on you. I like people to actually enjoy exercise.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't have to be
Exactly.
miserable. When you look back on your career, maybe before you started going into the caricature, was there kind of a turning point where you said, "Okay, I'm going all in on the caricatures"?
Well, yeah, it was. I was working at Disney in California, and believe me, I'm glad that you haven't asked one Disney question because 20 years of my life and 30 years, that has been the most often thing, and it's been 30 years ago. The things that we have done since then are to me amazing. When I realized that I was going to go into the caricature business whole hog, I had always done them. As a matter of fact, the first caricature I did was for an Army major, okay, who was my father's boss at the time. And they needed a present for him because he was going away and they had screwed around and not done nothing. So he brought me into the office, said what I need. I did a caricature of him right then. They gave it to him. It was a big success. And that's when I knew that caricatures were valuable. I didn't readdress them as a business thing, though, until I moved here because my mother was terminally ill. She was dying from cancer, and my father had given me a call and said, "You need to come home and see your mother." Well, the old girl lived a year after I arrived here, and I just had acclimated to the area. Huntsville will do that to you. And I decided that, well, I'm going to stay here and I'm going to go into business. I had little jobs here and there just to kind of keep me busy. But I decided to go into business. And the fifth year that I was here, after turning in my retirement papers and stuff from Disney and all of that, I decided to go into the caricature business because I could do two things. I could, first of all, draw a caricature in 3 minutes. And so I would make personal appearances all over Huntsville. It used to be, you remember when, who was the big company, Enter something?
Is that Intergraph?
Intergraph that used to have the iGog.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, when they came in town, I mean, you would probably talk about a $5,000, $6,000 week. And that was big deal because I was just making the personal appearances, drawing everybody who was there, and pocketing the money. And they were so busy that I didn't have time to spend it. And that's always the best thing.
yeah, that's it. So
Yeah.
when you
Yeah.
sit down to do a caricature, maybe you're staring at the person or maybe a picture of them. How do you draw your inspiration? How do you get that kind of signature look?
Well, there are two things. And I'm glad that you pointed out that there are two sides of it. First of all, from the caricatures from photographs that we do. I mean, they send in digital photographs, we get those, and then they give us a scenario. Well, this person likes Alabama football, but they golf and he loves the barbecue sandwich. And so you take all of that stuff, you put it together, and then you have the custom caricature, which is my big ticket item. I don't do them anymore because they do have a real negative effect on your eyes the way I did them. But I used to go to parties and stuff like that. And as soon as they announced the fact that I'm doing caricatures, a line would form. I've done as many as 98 people at one time, you know.
You cramp up, your hand cramping up at the end of the night?
Well, the eyes get weary.
Okay,
See,
yeah.
because what I had was a setup to where I had a overhead projector, which used to shine behind me on a screen. And the person would come up, and I'd put a special folder that I developed that had a thin plastic screen on it. Put that down on the overhead projector. Use a pen, and I could draw them, and you could see it behind me, projected up, and it looked like animation because I was drawing them so fast. And I did that and had worked that up to where I was making $500-600 a night on it, at a party. And it was just a wonderful situation for me.
That's it. Yeah, you get those captive audience. You just you can thrill them with that. That sounds pretty cool.
It
Doesn't it? I can picture it.
it, it was grueling work.
It does, man. I have my handwriting. So like if I write a letter, like a handwritten letter, dropped off my
Yeah,
son at the Air Force Academy, that hey, write him a letter. He'll get this in boot camp. Man, I'm about cramped up writing one page.
yeah. It's grueling work. You have to really test yourself on it and stuff like that. My wife had the opportunity to appear at several of them with me, and she would attest to it's grueling. And then after you've done that last person in the line, invariably there would be stragglers who come up and say, "Hey, look, could you do me?" It is hard as heck to say, okay, to get back into that mode to do it.
I
But
bet.
we would always do it because, I'm just thankful to God that I'm able to do it.
Yeah, you've had a heck of a career. Do you ever think about what you want your legacy to be?
I think my legacy is going to be the thousands of pieces of work that I've done. And not only that, the level of caricature that I've done. Uh, there are several people who think that I'm doing fine art, and I approach it as that way that I'm making an heirloom, a legacy piece.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, people around Huntsville have seen your work, whether they know it or not. They've seen your work for sure. So, what's
Well,
next for you? You have any things you're excited about that are coming up? Any projects you're working on?
yeah, the biggest project is that I have over 1,000 pieces of artwork that I have the copyrights for. And so, what I want to do is for Don Howard Studios to become not a person who just sits behind a table and generates work, although, thank Jesus, I was doing it. I want packets of my work, my products, like my guitar players, to be packaged up and to be presented to the customers through some of the big box stores.
Here you go. How can we make that happen?
National.
What can we do to help you make that happen? Anything we can do on our end?
Well, you're doing it right now, and I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
It's just going to become a lot of work and making it financially advantageous for both ends of it. To me, the imprint is where the money is because it's just a regular piece of paper. And so I feel like that I'll be printing $20 bills myself, you
There
know.
you go. That's a dream right there.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's a legal kind of.
Great way to look at it. We're gonna move on to the rapid fire round. We just do some quick fun answers, get people
Okay.
little bit more about you. So, what would you say is your most well-known piece?
Probably my piece on Margaritaville because of all those doggone parrot heads that are out there. I'm going to tell you, having a fan base is one thing, but having the kind of fan base that he does or he did, bless his heart, it is an amazing thing. And so I've sold that probably in 20, 30 different countries. So he is an amazing, I mean, just an amazing print. And it's my Margaritaville with, Jimmy Buffett. Thank you, Dorothy. Yeah. So, but all of them have their things. I remember when we used to, we sell from each category: rock and roll, blues, rhythm and blues. Country is a big seller for us because we have that. And then we sell comedians, all right? Comedians, I have my favorite songs in which I've illustrated my favorite songs. And then there's the boxers and writers, American writers. So we spread it out over several categories. And as you can see, if I package up individual members of the category and then package them up as groups, that it gives us a fairly long product line.
Sure. Yeah. Like I said, you've done thousands of these things, so you got
Yeah,
plenty of options.
absolutely. And they're all done on a very high level. So
Sure. Yeah.
that's what I'm happy about.
So when you are doing your work, do you have a favorite color you like to work with, or and is there one that gives you trouble as well?
Well, no, I can't say that any gives me trouble. I lean towards, and this is going to sound strange, but I lean towards Mardi Gras colors: the purples, the greens, the yellows, the orange, the red. So with a caricature, not only can you exaggerate features, but you can exaggerate opportunities and colors. And that's what I do. So that when I do a caricature, a person has to look long and hard because I hide little things in there, put myself in the place of the person who's doing it and say, how do they really want to look? And so that I always want to be invited back. So
Yeah,
I
that's half the fun.
don't,
Just look at keep picking out all the little details that
yeah,
you don't
yeah,
even have to ask for it. I didn't ask for it, but then maybe you
yeah.
put it in there and just exactly what I was looking for. Somehow you read my mind without even talking to me. So it's pretty cool.
Well, it's because of doing thousands of people. I mean, we're very similar as people. We might have different personalities and different ethnicities. We might be different in those ways, but just as the core group, from my experience, that we all have the same experiences, we all have the same problems, we have a lot of the same likes and stuff like that. So being a caricature artist and being, say, having the opportunity to do a diverse group of people, we've done business in 60 countries. To have that opportunity has really shown me that the human race is that, a human race.
Hey, there you go. Despite what you might see out there, we're a lot more alike than we are different.
We're a lot more alike than we are different.
That's for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So if you could have dinner with any artist, living or dead, who would that be?
Wow, that's a good one. That is a good one. Probably living and dead. I would have to go back to Leonardo da Vinci. Hopefully, he knows English.
Yeah,
An
y'all.
English speaking Leonardo.
Hey, you guys could talk through art though. At least I'd be stuck. So you can
Yeah.
handle it.
But as far as the contemporary one, it would have to be Norman Rockwell. And because he does the same thing that I do, we have different styles, but he also portrays American life. And in my customs, that's what I'm doing. I am a recorder of popular culture.
I like that. Yeah. But if you could just describe your art style in one word, what would that one word be? You think?
Um, Gosh, that's a good question. I would say vibrant.
Yeah, that's a good word for it. Yeah, that's what I would.
Because if you look at what I do, I mean, it's just bursting with vibrancy. And that's why I've been successful and why what I did for you is going to benefit you.
Yep, it
You
already
know,
has. Already has.
yeah, because it's out there. And he says, hey, look, this guy, I don't know. There's a lot of trainers and a lot of this and a lot of supplement sellers and stuff. This guy took the time to put himself out there like that. And when you do that, it pays dividends.
Sure. Yeah, I'm really excited. People got a great feedback for it so far.
And I'm glad. And let me say this: I only did the actual illustration, the finishing it up and stuff like that was from our little girl,
Yeah, it was
and the magic that she can do.
that's
You
right.
know,
It was great teamwork for sure.
yeah, absolutely.
Kind of on a related note, is there a dream collaboration? Maybe someone you'd like to do a caricature or someone you'd like to work with in the art world?
Well, you mentioned that, and I am undergoing a collaboration right now, not necessarily with a visual artist. I have did a book with Jim Parker, who is a professional songwriter who has his particular show at the Von Braun every month, the Songwriters Series. And we have worked together to where he's also a poet, as a songwriter is, and put together a book, with his poems and my direct feelings of the poem. And so I did an illustration and then also wrote my end thing. And that's the first really collaboration with a known artist that I've ever done. And I'm just happy as the way it turned out. And he's happy, I'm happy. So it's been a good thing.
Yeah, can't wait to check that out. He's a really talented guy too, and his shows he puts on out there are great. You got to check.
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, you could get it on Amazon.com or, give me a call and I'll make sure one's delivered to you or whatever, you know.
Yeah, we'll have to put that in show notes in case people want to buy one from the show. So we'll get that
Yeah,
there. So,
sure, sure.
do you remember way back your first piece of art you sold?
I remember when I was in high school, the only way I could make money was to do little portraits, little drawings, and stuff like that. And it got to be known that if you wanted a professional piece of artwork to go to me. I say professional because I entered my first professional show at age 11 and I won in my category. And from then on, I started charging. And that's the way I financed my high school stay because, you know, in our family, you bought clothes once a year. So you got your school clothes, right? And I remember in the ninth grade, I went from 5'9" to 6'1" by the end of the year. And unfortunately, I was wearing the same pants.
It's like those pants are hanging on for dear life.
So I started out looking real cool during the year. By the end of the year, I looked like Ichabod Crane.
High school years can be tough for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you remember the first person kind of believed that your art could be an actual business?
My art teacher in high school just kind of fell in love with what I was doing. And she was a good artist herself. I was amazed at what she did, but she told me that you have far more talent than I did when I started. And that encouragement and stuff like that helped me realize that no, it's just not a dream. And I asked her what I had to do to get to the point to where I could be a professional artist, and that was very beneficial for me.
Like,
She said, go to college. I said, well, I hope I get this scholarship.
yeah, well, we all need people like that. So that's great. That's what teachers are there for, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Help us get where we want to go. So great job on her. So before we wrap up, how do people find you? How do they work with you? How can they reach you?
Well, they can reach me, Dorothy. They can reach me at donhoward.org. If they need to call the office, you'll be speaking to the person in charge of the business, Dorothy, and that's at
I said we,
and
we can make all that in show notes. People can click on that if you want to look it up, so you don't have to memorize all that or anything like that. So
yeah, yeah, right. Just look up Don Howard. I'm listed in Google as the man.
man, there he is, and
Yeah.
that's a great name for you too. It goes good with that. Hey, Mr. John, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you for all the smiles you provided people over the years. We need more people like you. That's our goal to get up, make someone smile every day.
Hey, look, I really appreciate you. I appreciate you inviting me, and just thank God. And I hope everything goes well for you. And I really enjoyed doing the piece on you.
Thank you. I appreciate. I'm so thrilled with how it turned out. Hey, if you're listening right now, you need one in your life. Don't you want to look, just be smiling, just from ear to ear? What Mr. Don can create for you. He can do it. He's been doing it for thousands. He can do it for you as well. Christmas right on the corner. Be a great Christmas gift. I'm just saying. What do you get the person that has everything? A Mr. Don original. That's what you get them. That's what you get them. So, hey, appreciate you guys listening. We'll see you guys next week on the Huntsville Hustle podcast.
Hey, we appreciate you, buddy.